race, it doesn't just affect his race, it affects Sam's race as well, so it affects both. So that's, you know, a long way to go. So we've got Stephen.
Neil Gardner looks after Ed and Hodgson, that beautiful Supra GT4. He looks a bit racier this morning, having a go at Will Exton.
Yeah, we're still learning this car. We've found one lap pace, but then the tyres deteriorated over the longer races. So we've made some more changes again today to try and balance the tyre temps and pressures, and yeah, we're still learning and developing.
But it looks more encouraging.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Thank you.
The Race Lab guys have been working very hard on these brand new cars, one of the newest GT4 cars on the market. And I'm loving this as much as I am for Ed and Hodgson and the guys in the Supra. There's a little bit of contact front to tail there, but I'm loving this for William Exton because he has had it all his own way in a McLaren that's really well developed. Giltrap Motorsport have got a great understanding on the SB Tools car. The Supra guys are chasing. Now we're getting William under a little bit of pressure, and for a young guy who's in his very early stages of his career, this is a big tick. We need him to be under a little pressure. We need to see how he responds, and this is that.
It's good for him to be under this pressure, and I know the team as well would also agree with that, because when you're out front circulating on your own, you're not pushing yourself quite as hard as you otherwise would be. You're just sort of rolling around, not making mistakes, but you know, they would have still been setting their own targets. But there's nothing being in this real world racing environment where you're purely under pressure. You've got to hit your marks. As you can see him just a little bit late on the brakes through Lakeside there, just misses his apex as Ed and Hodgson is all over the back of him. You can see he's hard on the flashes there as well, but I don't think the flashes are quite going to affect Willie Exton. He's a very smart, very experienced driver now, so they won't be affecting him too much at all.
Two young guys off to Australia this year, so Exton will contest Porsche Sprint Challenge, will make Porsche racing and continue a trend of young fast Kiwis coming over and dominating our one make titles over in Australia. But a lot of raps on this young guy from the Giltrap group, won that scholarship to get the drive in the McLaren this year. I noticed in practice, I was watching in the second of the 3 practice sessions on Friday from basically pit exit, which gives you an unbelievable view looking down to that first complex where they approach at such high speed and seem to brake impossibly late for that right-hander. And they sent the 2 Giltrap cars out clear of the pack, and Exton followed Marco around. And yes, Marco's quicker. He's in a GT3 Cup car, so he gradually pulled away. But it was interesting that William was basically following him around and learning from a guy that's done plenty of laps at this venue. So even though they're in different classes, the Giltrap guys working as a team to bring both of their drivers up to speed.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. You know, even though, as you said, they're in completely different cars, you can still pick up a lot off other drivers. When you even things like watching where they clear the brake light and how much trail brake they're using to allow the car to rotate that a little bit better. There's all these things as a driver when you're following another car that you can really pick up. How have they approached the entry to this corner? Are they turning in a bit later? What are they focusing on? There's just so much as a driver you can pick up when you're following someone else who's fast.
This is great from Ed and Hodgson as well. He's actually got very good drive out of the penultimate corner through the final turn and will take the lead in GT4. So the Supra gets the spot and then immediately covers his racing line. Gee, the McLaren looks so low to the ground relative to the Supra, but a great pass from Hodgson. He moves in front and takes the lead in GT4. The Toyota leads. This is a big moment for that little team. They've been chipping away on these cars, and they're now leading the GT4 race.
Yeah, done a lot of work on this car leading up to the weekend with Caleb. He was here testing, as you can see, Hitton right to the outside onto the grass. Not a spot you want to do it over there, as soon as you get on that curb, you're so loaded on the outside tyres that you just go straight over the top of it. But yeah, they've done a lot of work on these cars leading up to this weekend, and it's you can see now they look racy. They're not just rolling around trying to complete laps. They actually look a bit better.
How much do you think it's helped having Ayrton, but also Caleb Natoa sharing the 107 car with Alan Sargent? He's a guy with heaps of experience in CT Frog, in S5000, in Australia, and GT cars. That must have just helped energise that program, and more to the point, probably speed up the learning.
Yeah, it hugely speeds up the learning to be able to have someone like Caleb in the car and having that feedback as well. It not only makes the car better, but it gives everyone in the team the confidence as well to know that, right, okay, the car's doing this, the car's doing that, we need to work on this, and then you can see the lap times improve, and you get that feedback from Caleb going, yep, the car's way better, I can actually do this now, and it just boosts the confidence of everyone, not only just the mechanics and the engineers, but also Alan as well. Alan can go, oh, okay, Caleb can do that in my car. I can see now that it's capable, and it's up to me now, as the gentleman driver, as I like to say, is able to improve and work on their own driving as well.
You only understand where you're at as a driver when you've got someone else's squiggly lines to compare yourself to. And sometimes it's quite a hard truth to work out how far you are off. I've been there. But for Alan, what a great learning experience to have someone that quick. This is a really good battle. Just to bring you up to speed as well, Marco Giltrap leads 2.6 the margin to Armstrong. But the big story is that Joel Giddy has passed Luke Manson. So the Merc up to third place now, and has got quite good car speed. Well, he's on a personal best lap at the moment, so he's closing in on Armstrong, so there could be a battle there a little bit later on. Meanwhile, Exton now, for one of the few times so far this season, he's the aggressor, he's the one attacking, trying to find his way through. In this race, no pit stops, it is a straight out sprint race.
You can see what he's trying to do there. He faked it to the inside to try to show himself in the mirrors as James Parker has a look up the inside, gets the move done, up into fourth place. It's a nice move off the bridge there. Always a great place to be able to make a move. Stephen, down the lane.
Well, we've talked about the GT4 Supra coming in. We're excited about that. Dane Berry is from Toyota Europe about the GT4 program. Nice to see finally the work that's being put in come to fruition this morning.
Yeah, exactly. We're really happy with what the team's been doing. Like, we work with them to try and improve the pace of the car, and we're really getting there. It's great to see Ayrton take the lead for the McLaren, so we're very happy at the moment.
How important is this GT4 program for Toyota?
For us, it is an important customer program. Like, our customers are the core of our company, so we have to keep them happy. We're very happy to see them happy here racing, and seeing more cars racing around the world is very important for us.
Use that word, we're all happy to have you here. Thanks for giving us your time.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. It's a good point, and a real customer racing program is GT racing. You don't often see a factory-backed team outside of some of the major races like Bathurst last week, but this is where manufacturers can support local teams with especially intel and some advice and go, okay, well, here's some setup info we've learned from one of these cars racing in the US or in Europe or at the Nürburgring. And that sort of global support network can help bring up your local customers up to speed really quickly.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference being able to do that, to pull information from all around the world to allow you to improve on your lap speed. And one thing I'm going to be interested in as this race ticks on, as we near the halfway point, we heard the team of Race Labs say about how they are still struggling with the long distance pace. So the McLaren is very good at that part. So I'd say we'd see Willie Exton here come on pretty strong in the second half of the race. But he, at the same time, he's had to work so...
You know that better than most people, to be fair. Good insight there from Tom Alexander chatting to Stephen McIver as his GT4 battle continues, and William Exton still has been unable to find his way past the Toyota Supra of Ayrton Hodson, who's got a background in speedway racing off the dirt tracks and sprint cars where he still dabbles every now and then. And we'll switch from one mate Porsche Racing, who drove with McElrea Racing in Sprint Challenge Australia last year, to a campaign in Dunlop Super 2 Championship in supercars. Sexton just showed the nose into the bank left-hander.
Just see that car of Ayrton's, it still looks really good at this point of the race. Just the rotation he had through the carousel there. It's looking super, it's responding really nice everywhere that he's putting it at the moment. So I wouldn't go as far as saying he's struggling with the tyre on it as Exton throws it up the inside. Not quite enough, had a good look. Couldn't quite get the move done.
Classic commentator's curse right there from you. Nice work. Oh no, he's going good. Car looks great, and Exton sends one. It's a big, ambitious move. McLaren, very stable package under brakes. That was one of their strengths in the Australian GT4 Championship last year, where with Method Motorsport they had a terrific season and won the Pro-Am class in monochrome GT4 Oz. They'll be back this year for another campaign. Toyota Supras will lead the way in that championship as well. A moment from Hodson. He had a big oversteer. The rear tried to overtake the front, and that opened the door for for Exton to slide up the inside, but he gets back up Hodson. This is a great fight. Over, under move. And some straight line performance from the Toyota gets him back in front. This is outstanding battling between these two great young future stars of Kiwi motorsport.
Yeah, some good straight line handling of the Supra there. It's seems reasonably quick in a straight line as you see them come out the exit of the loop again. So Will Exton there, he's got his work cut out again to try and get that move done, but he is definitely putting Edson Hodson under all sorts of pressure now as this race rolls down.
Hodson just had the slide coming out of that final right-hander where it's so important to put the power down, and it opened the door. Exton slid through, but of course going up the inside into the final corner, you're basically offline, and it compromised his exit and opened the door for Hodson to go through again. Terrific fight. And this could only build as GT4 grows strength in this part of the world. The final round of Monochrome GT4 Australia will be at Hampton Downs in late October, early November this year. It would be great to see some of those cars stick around for a little bit and maybe join this one over the summer to get some more laps. They've seen what the racing's like now. Been a great show. Gee, the Supra launches pretty hard off the old bridge there, doesn't it?
It's just such a cool shot, watching those cars airborne over the bridge. And such a cool feeling too when you're on board them. You just feel the car launch, you see the shift lights fire up on the dash, all of them, and you hear the rear limiter bouncing, and then you land again, then you're hard back on the brakes.
McLaren traditionally with really good drive, so mid-mounted engine turbocharged. So this is the fight a couple of laps ago that led to the swap of the lead. So Hodson with the oversteer there, you could see the correction and it opened the door for Exton, but he's going up the inside now into that final corner, and this probably hurt him.
Yeah, and he just didn't get the run off the exit, which allowed Hodson back up the inside once again. So so you can see just snapped a little bit of oversteer and had no choice there, William Exton, but to slot back into second place and continue the fight.
Great racing, good racecraft too from the two of them, wasn't it? Stephen.
Dan Prince is looking after Will Exton today, who's actually not leading for once in the GT4. But how good is this for his racecraft and knowing about real competition now that ends on the pace?
Yeah, it's absolutely outstanding. You know, it's good for Will to have that battle and show the full potential of the McLaren and what it can actually do. So yeah, it's awesome.
Are you surprised at the pace of the Supra today?
Not really. Like it's good to have some healthy competition, but no, I'm not surprised.
Just briefly, is track limits an issue today for these boys?
We've only had like one warning. They're definitely pushing it, as you do. It's racing, but no, it's definitely healthy.
Thanks, Dan.
Awesome. Cheers.
Yeah, good to hear from the Giltrap crew, sort of mirroring your thoughts earlier in the race about how good this is for Willie Exton. And man, he's driving hard, because while we were hearing from the Giltrap crew, he had a very big moment going up into the hairpin with the rear of that car dancing around. Should say g'day to Simon Evans. I haven't seen him here this weekend. I think he's back up in Auckland. So no doubt overseeing things up at McLaren Auckland at the moment. So g'day to Si and his family, I'm sure, watching on and enjoying this show and cheering young Willie on. It's a great race in GT4.
Yeah, he's busy up in Auckland selling McLaren so he can keep this McLaren on track.
They do have a second one as well, just sitting there in the dealership. So if someone's watching this performance and going, I'd like me one of those, we can put you in contact. This is a look at what we saw during the interview.
Yeah, we both just about jumped out of our seats. It was right under the brakes. He snapped sideways on the initial brake and then tried getting the crossover once again, but that power of the Supra, it wasn't going to happen.
It's got some straight line legs. Less than 8 minutes to go. Race 2 of Somerset GT New Zealand. They've got a great group of guests here this weekend. Their big corporate hospitality suite right next to our commentary box as Exton's car again sliding around under brakes for the hairpin. We thank Somerset and all the partners of GT New Zealand for their ongoing support of this championship, which it really feels like has taken a massive step forward this summer. The competition, the presentation of the cars and teams, and the depth of racing throughout the field has been outstanding, and can only feel like it's going to step forward. I know there's more Porsches in the region that could come and play, more GT4 cars, and who knows, maybe some Aussies might come over, like Zoe Woods has with TechWorks Motorsport, to come and play in this part of the world. So it's a great platform. hopefully it continues to grow, as does this battle, and Hodson continues to cling on to the GT4 lead.
And it's great to see as well the Giltrap group motor. Something was he went around the right there, something didn't quite look right, but either way, that's a massive shame for him, as that promotes Joel Giddy back into third place as well.
So remember, it was 22 points coming into the weekend. Giddy leading Somerset GT New Zealand in the GT Open class. There's a big swing as Exton grabs an inside front there under brakes. He was changing direction in the braking zone. Hodson just parking his car right in the middle of the braking zone there before turning in, and it's sort of closing out any opportunity for Exton to get up the inside, but also to do that over-under, go the wide entry to the corner and try and get a better exit. So Hodson driving this thing very defensively, but very much within the rules at the moment to try and block this McLaren from getting past, and it's pretty good racecraft, I think, from Hodson, using a lot of experience. McLaren gets good drive out of the right-hander past the museum and then into the final corner. This is a half-hour race, Andrew, but for Ethan Hodson, it's going to feel like about 3 hours of driving at the end of it.
There's no harder feeling than that, knowing when you're in the lead of the race and you're just constantly asking how long to go, how long to go. It's just, and then it's the opposite for Will Exton. He knows that the longer he's out there, the more he's wearing that Supra down to give himself an opportunity. So for Hodson out front there, it'll be like clock watching when you just want it to be over. It's such a long battle.
I understand some form of front end failure in the IRC GT and potentially affecting braking performance on that car. There's a couple of big stops at this place, so that will not be good. We'll follow that up for you for James Parker. He's linked that car back to pit lane after such a stout performance. We're making the point about the championship, so this is good for Joel Giddy. Minimises the damage to Rick Armstrong, who's one position ahead on the road. GT4 battle continues, and we're getting reports from pit lane that Caleb Nuttauer is absolutely glued to our pit lane monitor, watching this on and cheering on his teammate and hoping for a Toyota Supra victory. Alan Sargent in the 107 car, the sister car, is currently third in class, 14th outright with Zoe Woods just behind. Time is running out for Willie Exton. Where does he go, Andrew? Where does he make a move, if one at all? It's going to be, well, there's three good passing opportunities here. You've got the carousel, you've got, which is the corner after the bridge, you've got that forest hairpin, and then the left-hander after the bridge. So it's going to be one of those three, I feel like, where he's going to throw it up the inside somewhere to try and complete the move. But then at the same time, we saw him on that last corner get the run earlier on. So there are certainly opportunities around this track. We know these cars don't have massive amount of aero, so it allows you to stick that little bit closer through the high speed corners. As you can see, Willie Mixon, he's right up and behind the Supra. This has got hairpin written all over it. That's where the moves have been coming. That's where Exton's been throwing it off, but he throws it off the road on the exit there. Kicks up some dust as they get themselves sorted for the run under the bridge. Use a lot of that curb on the inside and then the exit. And that's just a little bit of space for Anton Hodson. It's a car length and a half that he needs, because this is the part of the track where the McLaren has been very strong. These really quick changes of direction and then the braking up here into the hairpin. So this might work the opposite for Willie Mixon, because he's able to, you know, have a bit of a breather now. He's got that bit of space. Everything's able to cool off just that little bit more. So what we might find is the next lap he'll end up even closer. As you can see, Caleb there and Dion Pitt as well watching on. And yeah, Caleb will be looking forward to getting back out of as he gives us a thumbs up. He'll be looking forward to this afternoon's races. He will get in the wheel and behind the wheel of Alan Sargent's car and try to take it to William as well. Haven't missed anything up front. It's still Marco Giltrap and Rick Armstrong 1 and 2 will follow this GT4 battle, because it's a great show. Oh, there's an opening. Is there a little opportunity? Not quite. The McLaren gets such good drive out of that final corner, but Hodson's car placement is sensational. And their lap times last time by 40.6, plays a 40.5 for Exton. It really doesn't matter the lap time. It's the position of the two of them. There is a fight going on for third place with Luke Manson, who's got to the back of Joel Giddy in the AMG, but they're just status quo at the moment. A minute to go. So I've received the last lap board.
as this is the last opportunity for William Exton. Is he going to be able to make the move?
So that will be the start of the final lap for Marco Giltrap. He's got quite a comfortable margin over Rick Armstrong. In fact, not far away, if hasn't already done so, wrapped up the Junior Pro title within Somerset GT New Zealand. Armstrong, 14.5 seconds to go. So these still to quite a long way behind the outright leader of the race. There's still an opportunity here for William Exton. Thanks to Andy Waite, he's got to run down to pit lane, get all the debrief from this race. I hope he doesn't miss a thrilling last lap pass or something between these two. Exton again, great run into the final corner, switchback move, gets it down the inside, and there's almost contact between the two. In fact, there might have been. Was that the last roll of the dice for the McLaren? Big moment, he chucked everything at getting that car down the inside into the right-hander, into reverse Indy, but couldn't make it work. Lead in GT Open. The fight for GT4 continues onwards. Exton about 2 car lengths behind. Coming out of the bank corner in this run up to the hairpin towards the pine trees. Armstrong second. He's crossed the line. Giddy holds out Manson, who was flying towards the end. So Joel Giddy third for Mercedes AMG. Manson fourth, and Pedersen will be next. Ayrton Hodson gets out of the hairpin, and this fast run down to the bridge. GT4 has been a highlight of today's race. And Exton's not going to be close enough. And there's a little bit of damage, little front aero damage on the McLaren. They're coming up to a couple of Porsches. The GT4 car of Tony Quinn, a lap behind, will get the checkered flag. A huge win for Racelab and for Toyota. He had everything thrown at him, but Ayrton Hodson holds on and wins the GT4 class from William Exton. And there's celebrations down there from Toyota Gazoo Racing New Zealand. Caleb Natoa's down there. The whole team, what a performance that was. And Supra on top in GT4. Marco Giltrap on top outright. And Rick Armstrong in GT Open the winner and ekes out a few more valuable championship points. Just 4 races remain in the series now. But out in front, ticking every box.